Hey everybody, Wendy Lou here. I'm here doing another video for Am I the A-hole Reddit stories. We're gonna start off with one from Deaf to Your BS. It's in the Entitled People subreddit. So, all right, let's get into the story. So it says, group of women tried cutting the line. I went to a bar over the weekend with one of my close friends who is deaf and uses sign language to communicate. I was also with my partner who is learning sign language for me. I wear cochlear earphones, CIs. And although I grew up mainly speaking, I picked up sign language in undergrad to build friendships with other deaf students at my university and as a way to communicate when my CIs give out. Anyways, we were in line for the bathroom when a group of young women were not so discreetly cutting the line. My partner spoke up to them and said we were in line. Their excuse was they didn't want to block players who were playing pool. Okay, I understood at first. However, they repeatedly glanced at my friend in a condescending way to the point that my friend signed, "What is your problem?" I didn't know this until after we left the entire situation since I can't hear that well, but they responded with, "Can you speak?" My friend was annoyed and turned back to me at this point. We just continued signing with each other. The wait was long for the restroom, but my partner overheard demeaning comments they were making behind us, such as, "How do you sign dumb?" and "They're definitely faking it." Well, that's rude. They also tried spinning it that we were being defensive because of their race, as there are some POC women in the group, by saying, "It's because we're black." I didn't know this was said until after we left. We continued ignoring them until it was our turn to use the bathroom. It was a single stall, and we decided to go in one by one. They were visibly and vocally annoyed that we didn't go in as a group, as if it would have made the wait any faster. So when we were all finished and walked past them, I yelled that they should learn some freaking manners. Fair, fair. Yeah, no, I probably would have done that too, because that's rude. Like, so what? If people are waiting in line, first of all, you don't cut in line. That's just no, don't do it. Second off, don't make fun of somebody because they can't speak correctly or they can't speak at all because they were born deaf. That's not their fault. It is not their fault in any way, shape, or form. Shame on you. You deserved what OP, you did it right. They deserved exactly what you said. Let's go to the comments. All right. Vivid Show 8139 said, "How does you faking it make it slower for them to get in the bathroom? So weird. Why are people so cruel?" I'm sorry this happened. Fair. I agree. Nothing you did changed their wait time. They just wanted a reason to be nasty. You handled it way calmer than most people would. Sorry you had to deal with that. People can be real weird for no reason. Yeah, very true. Wow. I'm so sorry you had to go through that, OP. Really sorry. All right. This one come from Next Winner 7574 under the Reddit subreddit entitled People. Rude for not giving up my seat. So this happened a while ago at my kid's soccer game. Usually games are back to back, and therefore it's normal to have people waiting a few feet away for other families to pack up and leave so that people waiting can get their spots. So, like usual, I sat a few feet behind a family watching the game waiting. When it was over, I started packing, folding up my chair, getting my toddler's snack, toy bag to move forward. I was with my mom and toddler. My mom sat her chair down and my toddler's little folding chair next to her. I saw a woman and her husband saying something to my mom but couldn't hear them. The woman had set down one of her chairs and had another in her hand. As I walked forward and moved my toddler's chair and put mine in its place, since there was now no more room, she looked at me with a confused look and called me rude. I told her, my mom, to move the kid's chair so my husband could sit down, and you just decided to sit instead. I looked at her husband and he just said, "It's okay, I'll just sit behind you." His wife sit behind you. His wife. Since people behave so rudely these days, am I in the wrong here? My mom then told me that the woman had asked her to move my kid's chair so her husband could sit there, and my mom said no because she was saving the spot for me and pointed at me. Um, I don't think you were really rude. I mean, you guys waited your turn like you were supposed to. Let's go to the comments though and see what they say. You are not wrong. The woman should have taken a moment to assess who was doing what while everyone else was arranging. Then politely ask your mom if anyone with her, mom, was sitting in X spot. The husband correctly understood the unsure situation, even if grudgingly, since they had just moved in, and appropriately took a seat behind his wife. But I'm wondering, was husband the one that said, since people behave so rudely these days, as he was taking a seat? It's not clear from your post. OP responded, yes, he made that last comment, and I responded by saying my mom was saving the spot for me while I gathered our things, and he just scoffed. Should have responded to his comment with, I know, right? The entitlement of some people, while shaking your head. Oh, that would have been hilarious. Just like his wife was trying to save his spot, what is good for the goose is good for the gander. Now you will see their miserable team of two coming a mile away. Stay put in your spot and watch them stew. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I mean, I wouldn't want to give up my spot, and if somebody was saving it for me because we've been waiting for a little bit, I'd be a little upset too. So, yeah, gotta love entitled people. This is in the subreddit Am I the A-hole? It comes from Substantial Swan 5806. Sorry. And the story starts off with, am I the a-hole for saying I don't want my girlfriend's friend around my newborn son anymore? I'm recently a new father of a 1-month-old. Yay! Congratulations! And loving every second of it. Everything is absolutely perfect and going a lot smoother than I expected. However, something isn't right with me and I can't tell if I'm overreacting or whether I'm valid in my worry. So plenty of people come over to visit and normally everything is fine with no issues whatsoever. Eventually, another one of my girlfriend's friends come over to meet my son. He comes over and it all seems fine, nothing out of the ordinary, until my girlfriend says, he needs changing. I say, sure thing, I'm on it. Aw, I love that. Pick him up and bring him over to the changing mat. Then he said this, I can't wait to watch you change his nappy. There's an awkward silence, and my girlfriend laughs it off and says, you're such a weirdo. I get this immense sinking feeling in my gut and immediately feel so worried. I didn't know what to do as I couldn't just suddenly say he doesn't need changing anymore, and it's also an open plan room layout. I huddle over my son, making absolutely sure he can't see my son from the angle he was sat at, and as I'm changing him, he stands up and walks over to try to look at my son. I instantly put a new one on. I'm not sure whether he saw or not. I act casual and hand him over to my girlfriend and sit next to her to make sure he doesn't get too close to my son. I pretend everything is fine until he leaves, and I tell my girlfriend that I am not comfortable with him coming over again. She asks why, and I refer to the comment he made. She's incredibly blasé about it and says, oh, he says weird stuff all the time. I think he's just a bit autistic. I tell her that it's my choice as well on who gets to see my son, and he really creeped me out. She then says I'm being dramatic and just brushes it off. Fair, it is your choice. Um, and just because this guy says weird stuff, it doesn't mean he's autistic. For one, that is just a little awkward to say. And even she was a little put off by it at first, but then telling her friend he's such a weirdo, and then the fact that this guy actually got up and came over to look, it's just weird. Most people don't even want to do that. I mean, like look or watch or whatever, unless they're learning. That's the only time, and it's usually on a little doll. So yeah, I'm completely lost on what to do. Am I the a-hole for wanting to be cautious, and did I overreact? I'm just so confused and don't really know what you can and can't do. I feel like it's a very weird thing to think. Say, excuse me. And the tone was just bizarre. It wasn't a kind of, oh, I can't wait to see you change it, although I still think it's a strange statement. I just have this weird feeling and don't know how to handle this situation. Am I the a-hole? Sometimes going with your gut's the best thing, in all honesty. Edit update. Oh, yay, we got an update. After a long, long talk, I am very glad to say we are no longer letting him anywhere near our son. Some absolutely outstanding advice from people here, and I'm so glad to see constructive criticism rather than judgment. From now on, he will be changed in private from absolutely everyone, regardless of relationship or gender. He will never see my son ever again. We've agreed not to say that to him and just hope that he never notices. And if he does and he asks why, then we will tell him straight up it's because of the comments. I will never care about how people see me from now on. I absolutely should have said something there and then. While I admit it's daunting being wrong, I'd rather be precautious and be seen as the bad guy than ever letting anyone having those thoughts about my son. I wish I had the rage and not the confusion in the moment. I honestly can't thank people here enough. She did agree before I showed her these comments, but people here have here have absolutely reinforced my gut feelings, and she was shocked that she didn't see it sooner. I'm still learning as a parent, but one thing I absolutely can do no matter what is prioritize my son over people's emotions. Thank you so much for your help, you wonderful people, and I sincerely apologize for not getting back to everyone. But I want you to know that each and every comment helped me and my future wife have a better and safer life for our son. Aww. Well, at least, you went with your gut feeling, even though you did get some help here on Reddit. We're going to go to the comments real quick and see what is said about it. All right. Uh, Not the a-hole. Something similar happened to me. My sister-in-law and her husband were at our home, and when bedtime came, he asked to put my son's PJs on. Instant mommy radar alert. No way was he going to do that, so I told him no. Years later, he molested his own son. Trust your gut. Oh my gosh. Yes, exactly. Protect your son at all costs. Girlfriend thinks you're being dramatic, but it's better safe than sorry. I agree with you, I seeker. Yeah. Trust your gut, no matter what. You're not being dramatic. Some people are just there's just disgusting people out there, unfortunately. I swear these disgusting people expose themselves to us so openly. No normal person would ask that. The only person who changes my children is me, my husband, or their grandparents. I would be so confused too in your situation why they'd want to do that. So glad you saved your son. Yes, and people just laugh it off and say, oh, that's just how so and so is. Literally, I love kids and babies, but if a parent or close relative is there, I'm not going to volunteer. If someone asks, hey, my hands are full, would you mind changing kiddo? Then sure, I'm happy to help. Volunteering when the parents are there and you're not a direct relative or adopted relative, outside of it, if someone is sick, ill, otherwise unable, etc., is weird. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, no, that was just, yeah, as soon as you said that, that even made me like just get this weird feeling. That was just awkward and wow. So, no, you're not the a hole. Reddit says you're not the a hole. I say you're not the a hole. You followed your gut instinct to a T. So, good job, Dad. Good job. All right, everybody, that's it for today. I know that this video is shorter than normal. I'm not feeling good today. I got sinusitis, so um but I hope you enjoy it. Please hit that subscribe button and the like. It helps me. Hopefully eventually I'll be able to get a camera and get a whole setup scene and everything going so that way things look so much better. I am working on it. I want to do play videos, like let's play videos, but my laptop unfortunately doesn't have the capability to do both the recording part and the gameplay, so that's why I need a camera. I am working on it though. So, but until we meet again, bye.